Hey guys, what's up? So summer's in full swing. I hope you're all able to take some time away from work to enjoy the nice weather and to recharge the old battery. I have a couple of trips scheduled myself that I'm very much looking forward to, and like every year, I'm also working on a best travel tech video, so definitely keep an eye out for that. But what also changes during this time of year is what I carry with me on a daily basis, my EDC if you will. I love watching EDC videos myself. It's always super interesting to me to see what other people carry around with them on a daily basis, you know, to see if I can pick up some good ideas or some tips and tricks here and there. It's been a while since we did one here on the channel, so I thought I'd share my current daily setup with you guys. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants some.
So starting off with a bag that holds most of my stuff. This is the Grams 28 157 Essential Sling. I've had this thing for a while now, and it's definitely one of my favorites, especially for the summer, because I don't feel like lugging around a big backpack in this heat, but at the same time, when we're all walking around in shorts and t-shirts, there isn't really a whole lot of space to stash your things. There's no coat pockets to store stuff, and so these little day packs are kind of perfect because they offer enough space for your essentials, but they're still small and light enough not to feel like you're carrying some heavy load. You can carry this one casually on your back like that, but you can also shorten the strap a little bit and wear it on the front side, and that's actually how I prefer wearing it most days, especially on city trips, since it does hold my valuable stuff like my phone and my wallet, and that way I can keep a close eye on it and not worry too much about pickpockets. And this thing will hold all my daily essentials. Of course, I've got my trusty old iPhone 16 Pro Max in here. Now, being a tech reviewer, I typically carry one iPhone and one Android at all times because I'm usually reviewing one or both of them at the same time, and I do need access to both systems. But if I'm being very honest with you guys, I'm a little bored with these iPhones, and I use this one mostly because of the excellent video camera, also to use Apple Pay every now and then, and to airdrop some stuff to my MacBook. But for everything else, I'm actually using Samsung's new Galaxy Fold 7 these days. I've been using this for a couple of weeks now, ever since they gave us a review unit at Samsung Unpacked in New York a couple of weeks back, and this is so much more fun to use. I mean, you can say about Samsung what you want, but they are always trying to innovate, and I think they really nailed it with this one. I actually posted my initial review here on the channel if you're interested, and I noticed that a lot of you guys are switching from iPhone to this one because now it's actually thinner and lighter than an iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I think that removed a lot of the mental barrier a lot of us had regarding foldables. They don't look and feel like these big bricks anymore, and they actually widened the screen to a point where it actually compares to a normal smartphone, so you could totally use this folded all day long if you wanted to. It handles the same way as any flagship smartphone, but with the benefit of having that beautiful inner display when and if you need it. If you've been around the channel for a bit, you already know I'm a huge fan of my iPad mini, and this kind of feels like I'm carrying a phone and an iPad mini at the same time. They are still a bit on the expensive side, but if they manage to get the price down a bit going forward, I really believe these devices are the future. I am low-key hoping Apple will also drop a foldable maybe next year, but until then, I'm thoroughly enjoying this one. I do sometimes put this magnetic case on there. It just came in this week because it allows me to keep using this thing with all of my MagSafe stuff. I have a lot of charging pucks across the studio and at home, and I just like being able to just charge it like I'm used to. Also, my MagSafe card charger, I can just plop it on there, which is something you can unfortunately not do with the Naked Fold 7. But as soon as I go out the door, I will take this off because I do prefer rocking it like this. It is such a beautiful, slim design. I don't really want to bulk it up with a case, even if this case is pretty slim. I don't know, I just think that one of the things that make this thing so appealing is how thin it is, and putting a thick case on it kind of defeats the purpose, you know? The case on my iPhone, by the way, is this leather one, also by Grams 28. They're not sponsoring this video, by the way, and I swap out cases all the time. This just happens to be the one I have on it right now, and I do like leather cases in general because of the grip they offer while still looking pretty classy. I do carry a proper wallet with me, and I will get to that in a second, but I recently picked up this slim wallet by Peak Design, and I really like this one. You know, most of these MagSafe wallets will be super slim, and I find that especially with the leather ones, the cards will kind of get stuck in them. It's very difficult to slide them in and out. This one feels more like a pouch. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very loose. It's kind of the same material they use for their tech pouches, I guess. So it holds a bunch of my cards very loosely, but you don't have to worry about them falling out because the little magnetic flap on the top keeps it all in place. And the flap also doubles as a pull tab, so you have easy access to your cards when you need them. I usually use this one when I leave my bag at home. You know, if I go to the gym or something, I just want to bring my phone and nothing else. This holds just enough of my cards without adding too much bulk. Now, my actual wallet is a little bougie, I have to admit. It is from a brand called Goyard, and this is the St. Pierre model. And it was a little treat to myself when I was in New York for Samsung Unpacked to celebrate some good news regarding the business. They're pretty hard to come by. They don't sell their products online, so you have to go to one of their flagship stores. The closest one to me here in Belgium would be Paris. I knew they had a store in New York, so when I was over there anyway for Unpacked, I decided to drop by and pick this one up. I was using an LV card holder, which I also like very much, but what I like about this one is that it holds all of my cards, but it also has this slot up here where I can keep some cash and maybe some receipts. Next up are my trusty AirPod Pro 2s, and what can I say? These are still the best in-ear buds I've ever used. They sound amazing, fantastic noise canceling. They're absolutely amazing for phone calls. I was actually calling Patty in the middle of Manhattan traffic, and she said she couldn't even hear the cars. So the noise reduction on calls is incredible too. But one feature I don't think gets enough attention is pass-through. Most earbuds have that feature these days. You know, it's kind of the opposite of noise canceling where you long press it and you can hear everything around you. But most of them sound like you're actually hearing your environment through a bunch of microphones. It sounds kind of artificial, you know what I mean? These do not have that. I can have these in my ear all day and I will simply forget about the fact that they're there. It's that good. It's so realistic, and I have yet to find another pair that can do the same thing. It's even better on the AirPods Max. I don't know what kind of voodoo magic Apple does to these, and the AirPods Max for that matter, but the pass-through feature sounds so realistic. It's like I'm not wearing any earbuds. I love that because I can listen to music and still be aware of my surroundings. Speaking of high-quality earbuds, these have got to be the most interesting alternative to the Apple AirPods Pro by a mile. The V-Aim Rec Dot are what they call AI recording true wireless earbuds, and these things are an absolute cheat code. If you've been around the channel for a bit, you know I have a thing for dedicated AI recording solutions. I mean, technically we can use our phones for a lot of this stuff, but I don't like doing that because A, I can't use my phone for anything else when I'm using it as an AI recorder, and B, I really don't want to be sticking my phone in someone's face every time I want an AI transcript or a summary of a meeting. These V-Aim Rec Dot earbuds might be the most discreet option yet, and they are certainly the most versatile one. On the surface, they're like any other high-end set of earbuds. They have great audio quality, including a custom EQ option, great active noise canceling with transparency mode, and that last feature is especially useful because it means I can keep them in and hear everything around me while I use the AI features. Either a long press on the earbud or a tap on the red dot will activate flash recording, which means the buds will start recording either your phone call or your live conversations or meetings without having to go into the app. Recording phone calls is not limited to regular calls, but includes all of our favorite meeting apps like Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, WhatsApp, you name it. For live meetings, a nifty feature I really like is that you can also record the meeting with the buds inside the case. Just make sure the case is slid open and click the red dot to start recording. The AI then transcribes your calls or meetings, creates summaries, and even spits out a to-do list. A very cool feature on these buds that I haven't seen on many other AI recording devices is live translation. At the time of recording, they offer live translation into 16 languages, which is incredibly useful when you're in a meeting where somebody speaks a different language, but it also works when I'm watching a video in a different language. The AI will provide accurate subtitles in real time. Very cool bit of tech, and if you want to check it out for yourself, there will be links in the description below the video. Alright, next up are my sunglasses. I like to switch those up from time to time, but I've been wearing these Dolce & Gabbana ones a lot. I picked them up last year on a trip to New York. Notice there's a trend here, and I love them. They're the perfect size for my weird shaped head, not too big, not too small, and the bridge is actually super comfortable. Some sunglasses will start hurting my nose after a while. You obviously can't know that when you're trying them on in the shop, so I guess I got lucky with these ones. Now, whenever I'm out filming content, or I think I might be filming content at some point, I will replace those with my Ray-Ban Metas. I absolutely love these. Most of you probably are at least familiar with these. We're all techies here after all, but in case you don't, these actually have a built-in camera which can come in extremely convenient, especially when you need your hands free to do other stuff. These will give you that nice point of view style footage, and these particular ones have transition lenses so I can use them inside and outside. I mean, technically you could use the tinted ones inside as well, but you don't want to be that guy. They connect to my phone via Bluetooth. They have pretty decent speakers built in, so I can actually take calls and listen to music like this as well. There's these little down-firing speakers that sit over your ears, and somehow it almost sounds as clear as actual headphones, while people around you still don't really hear a thing, unless it's at a very high volume, and even then everything just sounds really quiet and muffled and I can't really tell what you're listening to, so this is pretty impressive. My only gripe with these, and it's kind of a big one, is that they don't film in landscape mode. I mean, they're created by Meta, so I understand the focus on vertical content, but man, if these could film in landscape mode so I could actually use the footage in my YouTube videos, I'd probably never take them off. Guys, real quick, if you enjoy this type of content or nerding out about tech in general, a sub to the channel would be much appreciated. So when I do plan to film on the go, or when I'm actually at a tech event or something like that and I need some more serious footage, but I don't want to lugger out my heavier cinema cameras, my new weapon of choice has been this Sony a7C Mark II, and I can't really show it to you right now because it is actually sitting on that tripod right there, but I'll be sure to put some B-roll so you guys can have a look at it. I do need to give credit to my good buddy Tassif Hussein for putting me onto this one. This is such a great little camera, and what makes it such a perfect run and gunner for a daily carry is that it is a true hybrid camera. It shoots fantastic 4K footage that is actually downsampled from 7K, so it's really super crispy, almost no noise, and with a 33 megapixel sensor, the photos it shoots are also really good. Definitely more than enough for social media, which is what I use it for mostly anyway. The cool thing about this camera is that it has an APS-C mode, or a cropped sensor mode if you will, so I can actually use a lens like the 16mm one that is super light and compact for vlogging, and when I do need some extra reach, I have the side button on the lens set to APS-C mode, so with the press of a button, I have the equivalent of about 24mm, which is kind of like having a tiny little zoom lens. Absolutely love this thing. Now, a big part of my daily carry is actually the watch I'm wearing that day. For years, I wore Apple Watches almost exclusively, but when the channel hit 100K subscribers, I decided to pick up a Rolex Submariner to mark that milestone. That watch had been on my wish list for such a long time, and I figured it would be perfect to mark that occasion and to remind myself that hard work does pay off. Unfortunately, I did get bitten by the watch bug pretty badly. I mean, I had been warned that this might happen, but yeah, I definitely have the virus. I've been growing a bit of a collection over time, and my latest acquisition has been this Breitling Chronomat, and I'm absolutely in love with it. The funny thing is that I wasn't even in the market for a Breitling. You know, when I was growing up, Breitling was kind of the brand. It was the watch to aspire to, but over time they seem to have fallen off a bit and the brand is not as popular anymore. But I saw this one and I just instantly fell in love with it. The green rubber strap with the green dial just jumped right at me, and it has this open back that actually shows the beautiful movement inside, and that really sealed the deal for me. And you know, when it comes to watches, I really do believe that you should be wearing what you love, not just the hype pieces. I think a watch needs to give you a certain feeling every time you look at it, and this one definitely does that for me. A lot of you guys have actually been asking me about this watch in the comments. I did review my Rolex Submariner when I get it, and that video did pretty well, so do let me know in the comments if you guys want a review on this watch. I'll be more than happy to nerd out with you guys. Anyway, all of this is obviously not a cheap setup by any means. I mean, the title of the video did say premium EDC. I'm extremely careful with all of my belongings, and so I do what I can to make sure nothing happens to it. So every bag, including this one, has an AirTag inside. And I cannot praise these little guys enough. I use them literally for everything. In fact, I did a whole video about this not too long ago in case you want to check that out. I even have one in my wallet. Not an AirTag because that would be way too thick for this wallet, but Apple has opened up the Find My network to other brands as well. So in my wallet, I'm carrying this wafer thin credit card size tracker by Ugreen, which acts the exact same way as an AirTag, but it does fit in my wallet. And the reason it's so thin is because it's rechargeable. So it doesn't really require any of those coin-shaped thicker batteries, which is really cool because I can just slide it in here and forget about it. So guys, there you have it, my little everyday carry. I hope you enjoyed the video. Links to everything you saw will of course be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.